Me and my wife make investments, planning on bringing them checks in. I look at her like a best friend, I look at you like a waste man. You about as real as a spray tan, I just be training my Muay Thai. I spent the summer by King Kais, now a nigga screaming kill Ken. I'ma be the king like Kendrick.
Alright guys, so if you're watching this VOD, Kriste and I are going to be reacting to Slender Man stabbing survivor describes horrific ordeal. Kriste was actually watching this. Was this on Netflix?
It was on HBO Max.
Okay.
So I guess they did a segment on this, and yeah, it's interesting. I find these things interesting.
Yeah,
so.
you like death and murder. Huh?
Yeah. It's not that I like it. It's just interesting. It's one of those things that you can't, like, you know, when you see a car accident while you're driving, you just want to look and be ridiculous.
Yeah, guys, I sleep with one eye open at night. So anyway, we're going to get to this video. Again, if you're watching this on the VOD, this is a live stream. You ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Oh, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button.
Please.
Let's get it, baby.
Do you feel like you're a survivor?
Yeah, I shouldn't be alive. I really shouldn't after what happened.
For the first time, Peyton Leichner is talking about that day 5 years ago. 3 12-year-olds at a slumber party, and the next morning, a walk into the woods to play hide and seek.
Do you remember leaving the park to go to the woods?
They just wanted to go on a walk, and I didn't think much of it. It's just a walk. It's in Waukesha. Like, what bad stuff happens in Waukesha, Wisconsin?
Wait, did they say they're 12 years old?
Yeah. Yes.
What is going on?
Exactly. This is why it's interesting.
These are like 12-year-old
girls,
like middle American, probably middle class girls. I'm trying to figure out how this turned into a stabbing incident.
Yeah.
Right.
What's middle American? What is that?
I don't know. It's like a term for people who live in the middle of America. Like.
But they live in Wisconsin.
Isn't that middle America? What's middle America?
No, it's on the west side. You have like California.
What's middle America?
Middle America is gonna be like. Okay, geography. I don't know.
Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Mississippi.
Well, that's the South. See now, all right,
but
chat.
Midwest South.
We're not gonna make that a thing. Let's keep going.
Peyton was stabbed 19 times and left for dead by her own friends, who later blamed the fictional character Slender Man.
Morgan handed me the knife, and then I started to count again. When I was 5 feet away, I said...
See, and that's what I'm saying. I watched a little bit of what you were watching earlier, and it's like 12-year-olds. Like, I'm just trying to, like, the mindset of a 12-year-old to be enact so much violence.
Yeah.
Over what? Like an internet horror meme?
Yeah.
This is sad. See, this is what happens when your life is too easy.
Yeah.
See, like, people whose lives are too easy, like, they have time to waste, coming up with some kind of psychotic, concept in their head, delusion.
Yeah.
And all this, and I could be wrong, but obviously there's something wrong with them. They're demented in their mind, but there's a certain level of this that is internet fame and clout, right?
Right.
Just to say that we were a part of a Slender Man attack to the point where you would even enact something like this. Like, it just, I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, usually the argument when it comes to serial killers and things like that, the fact that they come from like an abusive childhood and blah 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 blah, and they were abused sexually or something like that, and this is why they do what they do, right? That's usually where it kind of comes down to. So when they're in the court of law, and their lawyers trying to defend them, that's one of the topics that comes up in terms of how severely we
there's a reason why they got to where they got to
sentence them. In the case of these girls, they literally had like normal lives.
They were bored, and so they decided to become serial killers. You know what's crazy too about this is
killers. I wouldn't say serial killers.
Not serial, killers, right? But what's crazy about this is like just the level of just how far somebody would go for clout. Now, I know there's some people in the chat right now that want to just believe that actually this was Slender Man, and in fact this girl is innocent. BS.
And now, go ballistic, go crazy, stab.
The suspect lured the victim into the woods. All 3 of the girls are 12 years old.
Who's ever heard of 2 12-year-old girls planning for 6 months to kill one of their best friends?
The whole time, Peyton was screaming through agony. I didn't want to do this. I was afraid of what would happen if I didn't.
It's Friday night in Waukesha, Wisconsin, a Milwaukee suburb. Peyton is getting ready to celebrate her best friend Morgan Geyser's birthday at that slumber party.
Peyton was so excited.
The girls met in 4th grade, Peyton drawn to Morgan because she was a loner who needed a friend.
I made friends with her when I saw that she didn't have any friends at all.
Also at that sleepover, Anissa Wire, who was new to the school and who had grown close to Morgan.
See, go ahead, babe.
No, you go ahead.
See, this is why, like, I'm the kind of person, I always make friends with everybody. Like, the reason being is because if they ever decide to go on some kind of killing rampage or plan a murder, I'm less likely to be the one they murder, right? Like, they're going to remember, that guy was nice to me. I'm going to shoot everybody else in the school except you. But, you know, this is a case where this young lady was obviously trying to make friends with somebody.
I highly doubt that that's what's going through their mind. But.
No, I heard, I could be wrong, but I've heard a couple of different cases where that's kind of happened. Like people have been spared because they were the one nice person.
One nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then sometimes they shoot the person that's nice too. Like, I understand it's complicated. But what I want to say about this is, like, you know, this is a case where, you know, this is typical, like, oh, this is a girl, she has no friends or whatever, so, like, this is the reason why, you know, she was drawn to this. But we're talking about multiple people being involved in this. Even the person who made friends with the weirdo who needed friends, like, somehow got dragged into this nonsense, and it's just like, it's just sad.
Yeah, it's this case specifically is just an unfortunate tragedy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, how do you teach a 12-year-old? And I guess that's something that we kind of need to do. And I wish that was, like, implemented in schools early on. Like, you know, teaching kids how to read red flags.
Yeah.
You know? And learning psychology at a really young age, not just on a college level of academia. I think it's important that we can implement those things earlier on so children can
maybe develop better. Like, this isn't normal.
I don't know, yeah.
Be aware that this isn't normal.
Yeah.
You know?
They played up in Morgan's bedroom, ran up and down the stairs, giggling and laughing, and I mean, it was just a normal night.
But there was nothing normal about what happened the next morning when Morgan and Anissa suggest they all go to the park and then to the woods together.
Anissa told me to lie on the ground and, like, cover myself in, like, sticks and leaves and stuff, but it was really...
Yeah, I'm out, fam. As soon as that happens, we're no longer friends. Bye.
Really just a trick.
While playing hide and seek, then came Anissa's command, and Morgan attacks Peyton with a knife.
Morgan said, "Don't be afraid, I'm only a little kitty cat," and jumped on top of Bella and stabbed her repeatedly.
And do you remember when it started?
Kind of. I didn't feel anything because my body was in shock. So they told me to lay down, you'll lose blood slower. Like, we're gonna go get help.
Did she try to get up? Yeah, she tried to get up. She said that she couldn't see, she couldn't walk, and that she couldn't breathe.
And they told her they were gonna go get her help, but Anissa flat out said, no, we weren't getting her help. We wanted her to die.
I got up and I just walked until I hit a patch of grass where I could lay down.
A bicyclist notices Peyton bloodied and lying in the grass.
Yo, shout out to people who ride bikes, man. See, because somebody in the car never would have saw this.
Yeah.
Somebody in the car never would. She would have just been there and died. But shout out to people who ride bikes because you have a different kind of view of the world. You can kind of see everything around you. You're not in this, like, giant metal hunk of, you know, metal and steel, and, like, when you're on a bike, the world is open to you. So shout out to this guy because he saved her life, seriously.
100%. I have to say, like, what am I trying to say? Basically, this kind of proves that, you know, usually they say that with killers and such, they're created, right, based on their environment. But here you have someone who essentially almost had, like, a normal
life, or at least it appeared so.
Yeah. And, you know, even her mom, when I was watching, like, the HBO Max series, she was saying, like, she would watch Bambi with her daughter. And when the scene comes up where the mom dies, like, she had no empathy at all. So, you know, that's an interesting study. Like, people...
especially as a child.
Yeah, like a mutation in a gene where you're, you know, can you be born without...
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of disorders that kind of cover that, you know, so she's probably somebody with one of those disorders.
He calls 911. Officer Dan Klein is the first on the scene.
I asked her who did this, and she told me her friend Morgan.
Peyton tells paramedics she's been stabbed.
They asked how long was the knife, and she said that the knife was about like this, and she was talking about the blade, not the handle.
Her mother rushes to the hospital just before Peyton is taken into surgery.
I said, "You're going to be okay. It's going to be fine." But I could see that she was covered. Her arms and her legs and her abdomen, they were covered in stab wounds.
The surgeon treating Peyton told me if the stab wound to the chest had been the width of a human hair deeper, she would not have survived.
Golly, man. You know, that's one of those, like, situations, like, rare situations where, like, I'm just going to go find your parents and we got to fight. We got to throw the ones. Like, I'm fighting your dad. I don't care. Like, like he had nothing to do with it, but I'm fighting your dad. Like, your dad's getting these beats. I don't even know if, you know, maybe he did everything right and this kid just turned out crazy, but you got to get these hands.
No, 100%.
It's happening.
Yeah.
While Peyton fights for her life, police are searching everywhere for the two girls.
It was about 2:53 in the afternoon. I had gotten a message that the sheriff's department had located the girls on the site of I-94. They were sitting on the side of the freeway.
By the time we found them, they had walked about 5 hours and made it to the north end of our city.
Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire are brought back to the Waukesha police station for questioning.
Their demeanor was very calm. They seemed kind of meek.
Your parents know that you're here talking to me, okay? And I'm glad they're so glad that you're safe.
I did notice she had a blood stain on the front of her shirt, and she was wearing two shirts.
Okay, what is your name? Anissa Wire.
Morgan seemed like she was very calm.
She looks crazy.
Yeah, you know.
She looks crazy.
I mean, it's hard to say that.
Nah, she looks crazy.
I know.
Very relaxed.
She looks crazy.
I mean, she's at a police department and she's covered in blood. And this is like a normal day for her.
What is your name again? Morgan.
You can hear Morgan ask what's happened to Peyton using her nickname, Bella.
Is she posing for these pictures?
Is she dead?
Looks like it.
I don't know. She wants to take her to the hospital.
What? I was just wondering.
It didn't seem like it really concerned her too much if she was dead or alive.
The detectives read the girls their rights.
You have the right to remain silent.
Hey, listen, you got to throw away the key on that one. Like, I could just... What was her name? I forgot. One of them is Peyton, right? And the other one is...
Yeah, the one who got stabbed is Peyton.
Okay, and then...
The one, I believe, doing the stabbing was Morgan.
Morgan's the one we just saw with the blonde hair, right? Anissa, Anissa was the other one.
Anissa, yeah.
Listen, whoever this last girl is, forget all that. The last girl who was just talking, is she dead? Yo, nutcase.
Yeah.
Like, just listen to that conversation.
Yeah, you can tell, like, even when you look at her, that there's something not right there.
I thought the other girl was crazy. This girl is crazy.
Yeah, the other one just seems like a follower.
Yeah.
But
well, she's still crazy, babe. She's too calm. They just killed somebody.
Yeah.
She's crazy, too.
Here in the state of Wisconsin, a child can be interrogated without the presence of their parent or guardian being in the room. At that time, I did not know that.
We find that people are more truthful when they don't have their parents present.
This is going to get me arrested, isn't it?
I love how the mom of one of the killer children is pissed that her daughter is being interrogated without the parent being in the room. But it's like your kid literally just stabbed someone 19 times.
Yeah,
it's this like delusional parenting that I just don't understand, and it is a very common thing. It's
I don't know. Yeah.
The interrogations last for hours.
Think your dog gets a little bit more comfortable here?
I have a daughter that's almost the same age as her. Like, she could be my daughter, but then she started saying things that were really very eerie, hearing them coming out of a 12-year-old's mouth.
So did you guys talk about doing this beforehand?
Anisha told me we had to.
Why?
Because she said that he'd kill our families.
Who's he?
A man. I didn't know him, but Anisha knew him.
And this is where the story takes another turn to a fictional character on the internet.
There's this website called the Creepypasta Wiki. Okay. It's full of like horror stories that are meant to purposely scare you. And there's one of them called Slenderman.
Who's Slenderman?
He's this tall, faceless man who preys on children. At his own will, he can exploit these tendrils from his back and strangle his victims. From what the Creepypasta Wiki said, he targets children most.
Anissa explained to me that to prove yourself worthy to Slender, you would have to kill somebody.
She legitimately, believed this.
Yeah. So she's, emotionally undeveloped. I know people will say,
mentally undeveloped. The fact that she believed this. She thought this was real.
I mean, I would say both undeveloped. She's behind in her thinking big time.
That's crazy.
The fact that the other one, though, the blonde, I feel like she knew that wasn't real. When I hear her talk in, the interview room and whatnot, I feel like she knows what she's saying is BS. She just doesn't care that she killed someone. She literally comes across to me as, an actual psychopath. Just no emotion at all. It's a normal day. I just killed someone, whatever. Not a big deal. Here's the story. She just seems really intelligent enough to spin this story in that way to work in her favor. But this one seems gullible.
Delusional.
Yeah.
Ordeal said we have to kill Bella.
When we come back.
Did you feel bad? I just stabbed one of your best friends.
I thought about it, but then I decided that remorse will get me nowhere. It's easier to live without regrets.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
Hi, everyone.
She's, she's manipulative. She's
it's not even just that's not even, forget the manipulation. It's just, it's one thing to be, loopy in the head and then do something crazy. But this girl is intelligent, like you just said.
Yes.
But the fact that she just, it's better to live without regrets and, I just did what I did. It's just, that, to me, it's just
No, I know.
You gotta lock her away and throw away the key. She can't get out.
Forever.
Yeah, she can't get out. That's literally the next. I don't know.
It's insanity.
Michael Myers, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that also brings me to the case of people who get off on cases because of reason of insanity. I'm just why would you let an insane person?
Yeah, no. My thing is the insanity thing is stupid. But you put them away, and you put them in a mental health hospital. You put them away, though, and they don't get out. Because I don't think you can come back from her.
No.
The other girl, maybe. But, this girl, no. She was born different.
Yeah, she was just...
She's built different.
Yeah.
No. Hope you guys enjoyed that video.
Bye.